It's Carol from bookreporter.com. We're shooting today at my house. See all the books behind us. Where we're going to be sharing what we're going to see on the site on Friday, March 27th. And boy, is March just flying by or what? As we're all sitting in our homes, bonding with our families and reading. Okay, I stopped by the office with Greg a week ago Monday, and we picked up some of the books we're going to talk about today. The others, Austin, our amazing producer, will be sharing pictures of so that you'll be on top of what's going on. I am going to read a little bit about these books because I want to make sure you know about them. And let's see what we've got for you. First, we've got The Night Watchman by Louise Erdrich. There's a night watchman at the jewelry bearing plant, the first factory located near the Turtle Mountain Reservation in rural North Dakota. He's also a Chippewa council member who's trying to understand the consequences of a new emancipation bill on its way to the floor of Congress. It's 1953, and he and other council members know the bill isn't about freedom. And the bill is a termination that threatens the rights of Native Americans to their land and their very identity. How can the government abandon the treaties made in good faith with Native Americans? So here we've got The Night Watchman. We've got The Last Odyssey by James Rollins. Okay. To save the world and our future, Sigma Force must embark on a dark, dangerous odyssey into the ancient past, whose horrors are all too present. James Rollins combines cutting-edge science, historical mystery, mythology, and pulse-pounding action in this terrific book, The Last Odyssey. I want to do a quick thank you to our reviewers right now, too. Really, they've been amazing. A lot of the people like to read print, as many of you do, and they've just taken on reading ebooks at this point because it's really all the publishers can get to them and get to them quickly with so many of the distribution channels closed, or really just trying to serve the stores so you can go out and buy the books that you'd like. So as a result, I want to thank them all, and I want you to really have them on your radar as well, because they're able to bring you the reviews that we're doing each week just because they were just picking up the slack and doing anything they can to make sure that we keep bringing you books that you want to read. Next up, The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. I don't have a copy of this. She's the author of Station 11. I was lucky enough to interview her when Station 11 came out years ago. It was a buzz book at Book Expo, and I got to run into her in January when I was at ALA in Philadelphia, and we had a great catch-up. She goes, I remember you because you were one of the first people to interview me, hoping to be able to interview her again. So let's talk about what this book is about. Vincent, who's a woman, is a bartender at the Hotel Colette, a five-star lodging on the northernmost tip of Vancouver Island. On the night she meets Jonathan Alcides, a hooded figure scrawls a message on the lobby's glass wall. Why don't you swallow broken glass? High above Manhattan, a greater crime is committed. Alcides is running an international Ponzi scheme, moving imaginary sums of money through clients' accounts. When the financial empire collapses, it obliterates countless fortunes and devastates lives. Vincent, who had been posing as Jonathan's wife, walks away into the night. And then years ago, a victim of the fraud is hired to investigate a strange occurrence. A woman has seemingly vanished from the deck of a container ship between ports of call. So you know that in Emily St. John Mandel's hands, this is going to be one tightly written thriller. I'm looking forward to reading it. I've got to get my hands on a copy of it. And looking forward to it. I'd love to try to interview her as well. So let me see if I can make that happen. I am going to find you an interview that she did with a bookseller the day the book came out, and we'll be sharing that in the newsletter as well. Next, from James McBride, we've got Deacon King Kong. It's a wise and witty tale about what happens to the witnesses of a shooting. In September 1969, a fumbling, cranky old church deacon known as Sport Coat shuffles into the courtyard of the Causes Houses housing project in South Brooklyn, pulls a .38 from his pocket, and in front of everybody shoots the project's drug dealer at point-blank range. The reasons for this desperate burst of violence and the consequences that spring from it lie at the heart of Deacon King Kong. From Phillip Margolin, we've got his latest, A Reasonable Doubt, a Robin Lockwood novel. A magician linked to 3 murders and suspicious deaths years ago disappears in the middle of his act, and Margolin's latest thriller featuring Robin Lockwood. Last but not least, The Deep by Alma Katsu. which is an eerie psychological twist on one of the world's most renowned tragedies, the sinking of the Titanic and the ill-fated sail of its sister ship, the Britannic. That's some of the books we're going to be covering this week. It's not everything. Also, we'll have live for you, already have this one up, an interview with Therese and Fowler about A Good Neighborhood. We had a fabulous conversation on Monday, and that's already up, both the podcast and the video. I'm going to share something. There's one of our readers wrote, and I'm going to put this in the newsletter this week too. She watched the interview that I did with Harlan last week, Harlan Coben, and she thought she might enjoy it for about 5 minutes. That's all she was going to give it. And she watched it and she enjoyed it so much that she said she's going back to watch the other videos as well. So for those of you who haven't given these a try, just go out and take a listen, because we've had so much fun interviewing authors since the summer. And there's a whole group of them that you can go out and be exploring right now. And I absolutely love that letter from that reader, because it just said to me, okay, everybody, times are different. We're not able to go see authors in the bookstores. We're doing our best to bring their stories to you. And also, we will be having an interview with Kate Elizabeth Russell about My Dark Vanessa. This is a book expo buzz selection last year. I read it last year, and like with Therese's book, which I actually had read before Tucson last year and I had to reread, I was doing the same thing with My Dark Vanessa. I'm looking forward so much to this conversation with her. And we are continuing to do contests on the site. We have one that's running this week. For those of you who will be entering, we've got Susan Mallery's The Friendship List. The book is not out till this summer, so we're giving away early copies of the book. We may be giving away e-galleys. If you want to get an e-galley instead of getting print, we're having a little bit trouble shipping print right now, but go out and enter. We'll do our best to get you copies of the book. Susan Mallery always writes wonderful books about women, women's friendships, so want to make sure we have this one on your radar. What am I reading right now? Well, I'm having a blast reading All Adults Here by Emma Straub. Emma's been a favorite of mine for a while, and this one is not disappointing at all. It's going to be out May 5th. I'm hoping to snag her for an interview as well. I was lucky enough to interview her a couple of years ago for the Morristown Festival of Books. Terrific story about a family, and a lot of different things are happening as they are now all adults here. And the little quirks of what's happening with these 3 children and their mother, who are all kind of defining moments in their lives. And we also have another contest that's running out on Reading Group Guides right now. I know a lot of book clubs are meeting via Zoom, so they can not meet in person and keep social distancing. If you tell us what your book group is reading this month, you can be entered to win Lisa C's The Island of Sea Women copies for everyone in your group. And I'm hoping to interview Lisa really soon as well. I'm trying to set these things up to interview from my house. I'm reading really quickly, trying to make sure that we can bring you as many authors as we can, as everyone is stuck at home. So from my house to yours, lots of great reading coming up on Friday. I also will be sharing, I'll see if I can do the recipe that I'm doing for quiche today, because we made this huge ham. We made an 11-pound ham the other day. There are 3 of us in our family. That is a lot of ham. So I've decided that I'm going to make a quiche. So my husband was wonderful enough to go out to the store, because I have not left the house in so many days, and get a pie crust, and we will be making that. And I also got a craving to make chocolate cupcakes. So it's going to be from a mix, everybody. I'm not going from scratch, but I might have to do frosting from something special. Okay, wishing you all the best in these incredibly tough times. Remember, we're online, always trying to bring you as many books as we possibly can and keep everything on your radar. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.